Now we have somebody who had 4% of the vote, has no money for ad campaigns, and now she's up to, in 3 or 4 weeks, she's up to 24%. I know Kay Hutchison. Forget about it. That's just. I'm sure she's a very nice lady. I've had her on the show before. I'm not impressed with her at all. And I don't mean anything about her personally. I just don't think she's the answer for Texas. So I guess for me, it would be between Debra and Rick. Wanted to get Debra on the phone because I don't know anything about her. Welcome to the program, Debra Medina. How are you?
Great. Good to be with you, Glenn.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, because, the Tea Party people, they're coming out of the woodwork. People are just popping up, and I think that's good, but it's also a little dangerous because we don't know anything about you. Tell me who you are.
Registered nurse, longtime Republican Party grassroots activist from South Texas, entered the gubernatorial race a year ago today, which was before the first Tea Parties, because I saw neither Kay Hutchison or Rick Perry bringing conservative constitutional government to our state. Had been watching both of them in office for a long time, and I've got to take issue with you saying the governor's strong on states' rights. He has said we're not going to nullify, we're not going to interpose. He hasn't done anything to stop the federal government as it steps time and time again outside the Constitution. He's been in office for 9 years. And even in the first debate, when he was specifically asked whether or not he would stand to stop health care, he declined to do that. We're looking to see what's going to happen. All of America knows there's no constitutional basis for nationalizing health care. He's singing a song for the campaign, and I think most of Texas sees that. I've been very gratified to have people from all over the state standing shoulder to shoulder with me. That's how we take back our country, and that's what's happening here in Texas.
Okay, the question was, tell me about you. Who are you?
Registered nurse, grassroots activist, 20 years in Republican Party grassroots politics from South Texas. Businesswoman, wife, mother, rancher, farmer, grew up on a farm, learned the value of hard work early, married, 2 kids.
What did you say, small business person? What did you do in small business?
I'm a registered nurse. I've worked in and around corporate health care since 1984, private for-profit health care. Opened a small business in Wharton, which is a town of about 12,000 people just southwest of Houston, Texas. Do medical billing and consulting for a living. My clients are physicians and ambulance services, insurance companies, and attorneys, looking at the pricing, revenue, payment of health care as well as quality issues. So still actively practicing registered nurse in the state of Texas.
Why is your what are your policies? What do you say? This is what we've got to do right now.
Oh, I say that we've got to understand first what protects freedom and what destroys it. And I believe that the 2 essential elements of freedom are private property ownership and gun ownership. They are as essential to freedom as air and water are to life. We don't own our property in Texas. We've got one of the highest property tax rates in the country, and we've had tremendous abuse of eminent domain under Governor Perry's leadership. I'm sure you've heard about the Trans-Texas Corridor, the NAFTA Superhighway, but there's others. There's lots of disrespect and disregard. I think even the border, the immigration issue, the illegal immigration issue, bubbles up into private property rights. That land along the Texas border is someone's farm or ranch. It is private property, and you cannot trespass on someone else's property. Come through the gate, the legal port of entry. So we've got to restore private property ownership in Texas. We need to eliminate property taxes here.
Wait,
the cornerstone of this campaign,
okay.
And then we can get into talking about all the things we're going to do to reestablish a proper relationship between a sovereign state and a limited federal government.
Okay. Debra, help me out. What you don't have any income tax in Texas.
Correct.
So if you're going to reduce the property tax or eliminate the property tax, what are you replacing it with?
You're going to fund government with the thing that is the best model of funding government. That's a consumption or a sales tax. It is the tax that creates the least amount of drag on the economy. It's the tax that is most fair and most easily borne by the citizens. So we need legislation in Texas that will rescind the authority to levy a property tax and create or broaden the authority to raise the necessary revenue. I'm all about cutting spending, but I know people get very nervous when you talk about changing funding structures and mechanisms. Even in Texas, when you look at eliminating property tax and doing a revenue neutral, getting the same dollars out of a sales tax, we will see a $3 billion increase in net personal income and add 150,000 real jobs to the Texas economy. Our governor has talked about the new jobs and the great job situation that we have in Texas, but the reality is we have lost 14,000 jobs in the private sector in Texas. We have added 156,000 government sector jobs. Our job growth has come entirely in the government sector. 14,000 few private sector employees supporting 156,000 more government sector employees. That's not a healthy economy in any free society. Get property tax eliminated, do revenue neutral sales tax, and you will see 150,000 new jobs, $3 billion net personal income increase in the first year.
I have, when I said that I was going to have you on, you can imagine the mail, pro and con, that I received. There was a theme that ran against you, and that is you're a 9/11 truther.
Well, there's lots of mud that people would like to throw at Debra Medina and make stick. The truth is I'm an everyday, ordinary person. I am fighting for the things that our founders fought for, those very basic principles of a constitutional republic, and I'm going to champion people that hold their government accountable, hold me accountable. But that's the first time I've heard that accusation. So that's an interesting one.
Right. Here's then let me be more frank and ask you the question. Do you believe the government was any way involved with the bringing down of the World Trade Centers on 9/11?
I don't have all of the evidence there, Glenn, so I'm not in a place. I have not been out publicly questioning that. I think some very good questions have been raised in that regard. There's some very good arguments, and I think the American people have not seen all of the evidence there, so I've not taken a position on that.
I think the people in America might think that might be a yes.
Well,
do you have advisors? Do you have advisors? Or
I'm not going to take a position where I think good questions have been raised and they're not answered.
Do you have advisors that advise you, or people that are around you that are 9/11 truthers?
Not to my knowledge.
Would you, if you found out that there were, would you disavow them, like the president should have? But I mean, he escorted him out in the middle of the night. Van Jones was a 9/11 truther. If you found out that people around you or advising you were 9/11 truthers, would you disavow them or allow them to continue to advise you?
Well, that's a federal issue. We're very focused on issues in Texas, on Texas state government. I'm certainly not into mind control or thought policing people.
No, but that's a pretty big one.
We've got a very diverse team in this state, and it is because Texans are standing shoulder to shoulder to support and defend a Constitution. I frankly don't have time to go through and do psychological testing on people and know every thought or detail that they have. I don't see us having a team of radical individuals, if you will. I think that there are certainly some that are looking, trying to use scare tactics. Are there?
No, I don't think there's a scare tactic. Deborah, you've answered the question.
And be a part of our team that have not gotten on the team. Absolutely, there are, but I can't.
I understand.
I don't know.
Deborah,
that's so out of context. It's difficult for me to answer. I guess it would depend on how vocal they were about that and how much I thought it colored whatever other talent they brought to the table.
Yeah. Okay, Deborah, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, Glenn.
You bet. Bye-bye. I think
problematic.
While I don't endorse anyone, I think I can write her off the list. Let me take another look at Kay Hutchison if I have to. Rick, I think you and I could French kiss right now.
Let me tell you something. He's a damn handsome man.
He's a damn handsome man.
Looks good in a pair of jeans.
Wow.
He's a handsome man.
Wow. The fastest way back to 4%. Holy cow.
I mean, and I'm gonna hear from people in Texas.
Oh, no.
How can you take her? We just asked the question.
Ask the question.
Because we got all the rumors. I expected her to say, "Oh, absolutely not."
Even if you are a
that is
truther, there's
not
an easy
what she
answer
said.
to that, which is, of course not. What
Absolutely
are you
not.
about?
I am not a 9/11 truther.
Well, no, but I mean, at least give her credit.
Yeah, give her credit. She told
Give
the
her
truth.
credit for
She didn't
telling
lie.
the truth.
Yeah,
but
she
you
didn't
know
lie.
what? If you believe the United States government blew up the World Trade Center, there should be no other higher priority.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear
no other
from you.
higher priority.
I don't want to hear from you. If you're a 9/11 truther on her side,
Yeah.
save your emails.
Yeah. Okay, so listen. Here's our sponsor this half hour. It's